have multiple files with that same name on them. Just look for the big one when you upload it.
Okay. Oh, so we don't both have headphones, or?
No, I didn't bring my stuff.
Oh shoot, I didn't think about that. Sorry.
Yeah, so
All right.
that's all right. I'll stand next to you so you can hear me.
Okay, no problem.
Should have brought my microphone.
Oh, it's okay.
When you upload that, you're gonna have multiple files that are named that Cascade. You just want to look for the biggest file, and that's the one you're uploading. Like when you put your mouse over it, you can see how big the files are.
Yeah.
So that'll be the one you'll upload. So, all right,
All right, well, good evening, fans. Welcome in here tonight on AudioSportsOnline.com, your home for the Cascade Cadets. Athletic action tonight. It is volleyball, our first volleyball broadcast of the year. Lex Zorn will be bringing you the play-by-play throughout much of the evening. He'll be along in just a little bit. I'm Rob Kendall, and your Cascade Lady Cadets will take on, they come in with a record of 3-9. They will take on the Danville Lady Warriors tonight, who enter with a record, an undefeated season so far of 11-0. The Warriors, as you can see, still out on the court, going through some pregame warm-ups. We've got about 8 minutes or so still up on the clock as we get ready for volleyball action tonight here on AudioSportsOnline.com. And, of course, we want to start out this broadcast as we do every broadcast by saying thank you to the fabulous athletic staff out here at the Cascade High School. Of course, Principal John Acton and Athletic Director Scott Stevens. Without them, it would not be possible for us to do this. So we certainly say thank you to them. And thank you for listening right here tonight on AudioSportsOnline.com, or watching, I should say, tonight on AudioSportsOnline.com. We want to run through the lineup, or the members of the Cascade varsity volleyball team. Basketball team. Yeah, we certainly have said that many times. We'll be doing the Cascade Lady basketball coming up this winter. But members of the varsity volleyball team include number 1, Madison Mays, a freshman. Number 2, Juliana Schmidt, a freshman. Number 4, Sydney Cook, a junior. Number 5, Brianna Stevenson, a senior. Number 11, Tanner Mays, a junior. Number 8, Carly Gibbs, a sophomore. Number 9, Kylie Jacobs, a sophomore. Number 10, Alyssa Bright, a senior. Number 12, Elizabeth Gudig, a sophomore. Number 13, Trinity Hostetler, a senior. And number 14, Madison Trissler, a freshman. That is your Cascade Lady Cadets, who are now back on the floor. Danville Warriors, they're going to be the visitors tonight, wearing the road maroon-red jerseys, white letters and numbers, black shorts. The Cascade Cadets, the home team tonight, they're going to wear the home whites, black letters and numbers, and black pants with blue trim. So it should be a very exciting evening of high school volleyball coming up here in just a few moments on AudioSportsOnline.com. As I said, Lex Zorn will be along in just a little bit. He's going to call much of your action tonight. And we'll take a quick pause, let you continue to enjoy the pregame warm-ups here on AudioSportsOnline.com.
half of the 6A teams in the state are just in those two conferences.
Rob Kendall along with Lek Zorn coming to you tonight from Cascade High School. Volleyball action. Lek will be along here in just a moment. He'll have much of the call of tonight's action. And it is, again, the Danville Warriors traveling to Cascade to take on your Lady Cadets. And we've still got about 2.5 minutes up on the clock. Don't forget, if you're a Cascade sports fan, and, well, you're watching this, so you probably are, the Cadets are going to be back in action Friday night. High school football, the aforementioned Lek Zorn, will have the play-by-play of all the action as the Cadets head out to Brown County, trying to get that first win of the year. And boy, looking at that schedule, it looks like one they really could probably get a W on Friday night. So don't forget, if you can't make it out, you can listen to all the play-by-play action right here on AudioSportsOnline.com. Listen to Lek. You won't miss a single play as Lek gets the privilege of heading out to beautiful Nashville, Indiana to announce that ball game. And don't forget, speaking of which, if you want to preview in detail, we've got the Steve Spinks show for you every Monday, and that's available right now on Audio Sports Online. This very broadcast page that you are watching this broadcast on, you can hear the coach of the Cascade Cadets, Steve Spinks, deliver all his thoughts on the game last week against Monrovia, and take a look ahead to this Friday night. So check that out right here on AudioSportsOnline.com. Team is wrapping up their warm-ups now. And again, let's run through some of the names of your Cascade Lady Cadets on the volleyball side of things. Number 1, Madison Mays. Number 2, Juliana Schmidt. Number 4, Sydney Cook. Number 5, Brianna Stevenson. Number 6, Taylor Mays. Number 8, Carly Gibbs. Number 9, Kylie Jacobs. Number 10, Alyssa Bright. Number 12, Elizabeth Gudig. Number 13, Trinity Hostetler. And number 14, Madison Trissler. Lady Warriors now are over on their sideline. And soon the Lady Cadets will join them as well. And again, I want to thank Scott Stevens, the athletic director out here at the Cascade High School. John Acton as well, the fine principal here at the Cascade High School, for allowing us, putting together this package that allowed us to be out here. And thank all of the fabulous sponsors that have made it possible for us to be out here to announce Cascade Athletics all year long. We're going to be doing, of course, we've got football, we've got volleyball, we've got boys and girls basketball, we're going to have some spring sports. It's a huge season. It's 40 broadcasts, and we're very excited to be a part of that with you. And I think here in just a moment we're going to have our national anthem. There's the buzzer. And we are just about ready to go. No, I think they're going to... We'll see what they're doing here. I don't know if we're going to have the starting lineups and then the national anthem. If they may have already done the national anthem. I was not here when the JV game started. By the way, Danville was victorious in your JV game. Yeah, we're going to have the playing of our national anthem. All right, there you go, our national anthem, and we are just about ready to begin tonight's contest, as we're going to have some starting lineups, I think, here for both teams.
Let's meet our players this evening. First, for the Warriors. Your non-starters, 3, Lauren Townsend. 6, Lily Chinister.
Again, Danville enters tonight 11-0, undefeated, so this would be a huge win for your Lady Cadets.
11, Kenzie Egan. And your starters, 1, Caitlin Allen. 2, Lucy Chinister. 5, Claudia Ellis. 8, Jessie McDougall. 9, Kirsten Johnson. 14, Kyra Black. And your libero, number 4, Mallory Delaware. And your Warriors are coached by Rachel Sharp. Correction.
All right, there are the Danville Warriors, and now here in just a second, we're going to have the Cascade Cadets.
Now let's feature cadets. Number 6, Taylor Mays. 9, Kylie Jacobs.
And always a good display of sportsmanship in volleyball. They not only shake the hands of their teammates, but they go and shake the hands of the opposing coach and the hands of the officials, and that's always very nice to see. Of course, they preach good sportsmanship here at the Cascade High School.
8, Carly Gibbs. 12, Elizabeth Goody. 13, Trinity Hostetler. And your libero, number 1, Madison Mays. And the cadets are coached by Miranda Mayners.
Yeah, and we should mention the Miranda Mayners is the head coach for your Lady Cadets. And now here we go. Both teams going to meet at the center of the floor, shake hands, and we're just about ready for volleyball action. I want to also thank Jim DiAgostino, the superintendent of Mill Creek Schools. Also Stacy Manette, the assistant superintendent as well. Cadets circling up. Little pregame chant to get the blood flowing. And we are just about ready to go here for volleyball tonight. Up and down their floor, we've got Schmidt in the back, as well as Stevenson. Up front, we've got number 13, Hostetler. We've got number 12, Gudig. Number 4, Cook. And number 1, Mays. And now we are just about ready to go. There's nothing quite like, softball's probably pretty close, the pregame ritual, the friendliness of the pregame ritual. And again, Lex Zorn will come along and have play-by-play here momentarily. Danville to serve to your Lady Cadets. Here we go. There's the serve. It's returned, knocked up in the air. Back over the net. Big spike. Turned by the Warriors. And it will fall in front of the outstretched arms of Stevenson. It is 1-0 in favor of Danville. Of course, we're playing to 25. Best 2 out of 3 is victorious. Serve again for the Warriors. Long hit. Hit up in the air by Cook. Set up. There's a big spike by Hostetler. Saved by the Warriors. Back across the net. Loose ball kept alive by Cascade. Nice job to get it over the net. And tipped in by the Warriors in front of Hostetler. Diving save there by Mays. But unfortunately, teed it right up there for the Danville Lady Warriors. Line drive serve. Set up by Cascade. And Schmidt will fire it across. Out of bounds. That's a point for the Cadets. Sorry, that was Hostetler on the return that time. And good form. Just out of bounds. So 3-0 in favor of Danville. Line drive across the net. Set up by Cascade. Back across the net by Cook. Danville rallies. Tips it up. Cascade has it. Mays sets it up. Hostetler has her shot across the net. Blocked by the Warriors and in front of the Cadets. And it's quickly 4-0 in favor of the Danville Warriors over the Cascade Cadets. Again, I'm Rob Kendall. Lex Zorn will be with us in just a second to announce some of tonight's game. Long serve. Set up by Cascade. Knocked over the net by Schmidt. And now a set and a spike by the Warriors. It's 5-0 in favor of Danville. So Cascade running into this 11-0 Danville team early on. And they find themselves down 5-0. Serve across the net. Nice return by number 4, Cook. Falls in front of a Warrior. A little line drive. Hit the net. And that'll make it 5-1. And it'll be number 11, number 1, Madison Mays with the serve. Across the net. Set up by the Warriors. Big spike. And unable to dig it out was Schmidt. And it'll be another point for the Danville Warriors. It's now 6-1 in favor of Danville. We've got 2 more volleyball broadcasts coming your way later this year. Here on AudioSportsOnline.com. We'll get you those dates in just a second. Danville back on the serve this time. Good serve across the net. Dug out of there by Stevenson. Now returned over the net by the Cadets. Big spike back the other way by Danville. Nice dig by Mays. Set up. There's a spike. Warriors do save it, though. And come back the other way. Spike by Danville. Blocked at the net. And hit over the net by Gudig. And Danville returns and able to drop it in front of a Cadet for the point. So it's now 7-1 favor of Danville.
Well, we have a timeout here. This is Lex Zorn now on the call, and this is my 6th season of high school sports commentary. However, this is my first ever volleyball broadcast, so it's a new challenge I'm looking forward to. If you listen to Cascade broadcasts here on AudioSportsOnline.com, you probably recognize my voice. My broadcast partner, Rob Kendall, and I combined to commentate 28 Cascade basketball games last season, 15 boys and 13 girls, and this year I've commentated both of Cascade's football games so far, and now we're doing volleyball. We're gonna have wrestling a little later on in the year, as well as more basketball, and then in the spring we're going to have baseball and softball, so we're really excited about this massive package of cadet games here on AudioSportsOnline.com, and we hope we will do these. We hope we'll commentate well enough to bring these exciting games justice. So anyway, Cascade with a major challenge here against Danville, who's 11-0, one of the top teams in the state. Danville seems to just be overall excelling in all sports right now. And anyway, at the end of the quarter, we got a tip over the net for a Danville point. The Lady Warriors lead by a score of 8-1 here in the first game. Danville also won the JV game 2-0. So now here's the serve for Danville, leading 8-1 in game 1. And a hit over the net. Now a set up here for a spike, but it's into the net, and Cascade point, 8-2 now. And we got a whistle here. Let's see what that's all about. But this is a very young Lady Cadets team. Of their 10 players, they have 3 seniors, a junior, 3 sophomores, and even 3 freshmen. So while they're struggling now at 3-9, in a year or so, they're going to be a lot better. And I think in 2 years they're going to be very good. So now back to action here. There's a spike for a point there by Danville, making the score 9-2. And so Danville will get the serve here. Boy, Danville, another Hendricks County team only 9 miles away from here. These two schools just played in football a week ago Friday in the home opener, with Danville winning that game 47-13. So now Cascade hits it over the net, and we got a setup here. A spike, but it's hit over by Cascade, and Now they try to set up a spike, and they get a point. It wasn't tipped. It wasn't tipped over very well, but the dive there is no good by Trinity Hostetler. Also a member of the girls' basketball team. She will be one of their top returners this season, likely move into the starting lineup to fill the void left by Bailey Walker, the starting center, who's now gone on to play for Franklin College. And now another point there by the Lady Warriors. They lead by a score of 10-3 here in Game 1. For those of you who don't know this, and I didn't until my broadcast partner Rob Kendall informed me about half an hour ago, you played at 25 points in a game, best 2 out of 3. You have to win each game by 2. So now a nice spike there for a point there by Carly Gibbs. She's only a sophomore, so they're going to have her back in another couple of years. We've got a nice crowd here today. We have I counted, we have almost exactly 100 fans here. And I'll tell you one thing I've noticed about Cascade, and I've said it on the air during the football broadcast this year, is that they, and there is, we got another Danville point. I couldn't tell what happened there, but so another Cascade point. So Lady Cadets on a mini run here. They cut the lead to 10-5 here in Game 1. Boy, it would be a big upset if they were to pull this off. So now, spike there by Danville. The Lady Cadets keep it alive, however. Juliana Schmidt hits it into a net. She's only a freshman. Like I said, 3 freshmen, 3 sophomores. 60% of Cascade's players are freshmen and sophomores, so this experience they have now playing varsity, especially against a first-rate team like Danville, is really going to help them grow and excel into a great team here in a couple of years. As Danville takes a 12-5 lead, they've responded now with 2 consecutive points of their own, nearly halfway to the 25 they need. So now a serve, and it's a misfire there by Taylor Mays on her return attempt, so that's 3 in a row for Danville. Now they lead 13-5 here in Game 1. You know, I looked, and I did an extensive internet search, and apparently they don't have rankings for volleyball like they do in other sports. So, but now we got a nice point there by Cascade. I didn't catch who hit it over, but that breaks a 4-point run there by the I'm sorry, that was my bad. That was another Lady Warriors point, and now that makes it 5 in a row. It looks like the Lady Cadets. It looks like a couple of them, thought that somebody else was going for the ball, and it landed in between them. So now 5 points in a row for Danville, 15-5 now. However, that serve doesn't make it over the net, so Cascade cuts the lead 15-6, and they have the serve back. This time serving now we have Carly Gibbs. And a spike goes into the net, so 2 points in a row for Cascade now, 15-7. Danville leads Game 1. Tell you, they don't list the heights on these rosters, but, Danville looks to me like they have a lot of height. And now the serve goes out of bounds, so that'll be a Danville point. They lead 16-7 now. Well, yeah, we have about 100 fans here, and like I've been saying on the football broadcasts, Cascade, they are, based on my 39 years of attending Indiana high school sports, Cascade is near the top in fan support per capita. There is Danville gets another point on a spike, cutting it. They're taking the lead 17-7 now. But I think Cascade really is near the top in the state in fans per capita, the kind of crowds that they get compared to, other schools of similar sizes, and even compared to schools of that are bigger. I mean, now Cascade, they don't get crowds as big as, like Carmel or Ben Davis, but, when you consider the number of fans they have per students in the school, it's actually very high, and, a much higher ratio than a lot of bigger schools there. So, like I said, I love coming out to these quaint, close-knit communities where the high school sporting event is, especially football and basketball, is the water cooler conversation, still the hottest ticket in town. So now, back and forth here, and Cascade hits it over, but it's immediately tipped over there by Kiara Black of Danville. Appears to be a very tall player. And now a spike, but saved by the Lady Cadets. Now a set up here for a very good spike there by Sydney Cook. However, then Danville gets the point on a spike of their own, and they are in solid control of this game, won by a score of 18-8. Well, Danville, hold that thought till after this play. So now we have a serve there by Mallory Delamarter, and we got another Danville point here, that 19-8. I'll tell you, this is an exciting time to be a Danville sports fan. Their football team. I know we got a timeout, Cascade, but Danville football now is ranked number 10 in the state in Class 3A. The girls basketball team is going to be a Class 3A state championship contender this year, coming off a trip to the semi-state without a senior in the starting lineup. Boys basketball team's been good for a long time, and now the volleyball team's 11-0. So, sure that the rabid Warrior fans are having a lot to cheer about right now. And actually, it's interesting. They actually they timed the timeouts here. They show you the amount of time left on the scoreboard. That's really cool. In basketball, they don't do that because it would interfere with the clock for the game. So, got 12 seconds now. But it's an exciting time to be a Cascade fan as well. And one thing you have to look at with both volleyball as well as football is how young they are. They only have 8 seniors on the football team this year. They mainly, most of their offensive stars are sophomores and juniors. So a year and 2 years from now, both the football and the volleyball teams, I think, are going to be very good. So now we have the serve. Mental mistake by the Lady Cadets. There were 3 or 4 of them standing around thinking somebody else was going to get it, and Danville gets the point. They lead 20-8 now. This is a game in which obviously Danville's the heavy favorite, entering at 11-0, Cascade 3-9. The Lady Warriors are much more experienced. They have 4 seniors and 5 juniors. Cascade, meanwhile, only 3 seniors and 1 junior. Cascade does get the point there to cut it to 20-9. Consistently from this game for Cascade is usually had about, and then they score there on a serve that goes through the hands there of Caitlin Allen for Danville, 20-10 now. And really, Cascade, they've been consistently, most of this game they've had about half as many points as Danville, and this serve goes out of bounds. However, no, it landed inbounds, so I was wrong there. I was right that the scoreboard got it wrong. So I guess I should trust my eyes a little better. 21-10 now. So now as serve there. Now hit out of bounds to Danville. Sorry, I got to stop thinking in basketball terms here. Out of bounds on the hit by Cascade. So the Lady Warriors get the point. They're up 22-10 now. They've consistently had about twice as many points as Danville throughout this game. And this spike, I'll tell you, there have been about 3 times I've seen tonight in which, more than at least 2 players for Cascade were expecting somebody else to go after the ball. So that's definitely a mistake of a young team that they're going to have to address in practice as they fall down 23-10 now. So now, try to set up a spike, but it goes too far back. And the attempt to hit it over the net fails, and the Warriors up 24-10, 1 point away from winning game 1 here. hit over the net. And now a tip over. And now a spike, and that's it. That's the game. So Danville takes a 1-0 lead here. And now the teams huddle. So anyway, last year was the first year that of the Cascade Audio Sports online relationship. We covered, like I said, 15 boys and 13 girls basketball games, which was particularly exciting because they were both winning teams, especially the girls who spent almost the entire season ranked in the top 10 in Class 2A. The downer was that both of them, both the boys and the girls basketball teams, lost their first tournament game, which was a particularly big upset. In the case of the girls, losing to South Putnam, a team who they beat by 22 during the regular season. But anyway, the Lady Cadets in basketball are still going to return 3 of their starters. They do lose Michaela Collier to Goshen College and Bailey Walker to Franklin College, but they return Olivia Bryant, Amelia Bryant, and one of their starters. It's been over 6 months since I commentated their games. They had the 2 Bryants and Hannah Rasnake, who's going to be their top leading returning scorer. And so they still have a lot to look forward to. And then Trinity Hostetler, who's playing on the volleyball team here, will be playing. Will be playing a lot more. She'll probably be the starting center, and they're really going to be looking at her to step up and pick up a lot of the scoring and rebounding load vacated by Walker. So, and the boys basketball team, that they returned their starting center, Dalton Dubois, who's going to be a senior, and certainly they're looking for big things for him. He led the cadets to their first winning season in 5 years. So now we have exactly a minute to go here in the in the break between games. So anyway, it's a pleasure to have you with us. We're just very excited about this Audio Sports Online relationship with Cascade, and that this year it's expanded from basketball to boys and girls basketball to a lot of other sports, including football. We're going to have every football game for you this season, home and away. Continuing Friday night as the Cadets go for their first win of the season against the Brown County Eagles down at Brown County in Nashville. One of the most beautiful parts of the state. Hope you'll maybe take a day or at least half a day off work to go down there, spend a few hours walking the streets of Nashville. And so only 49 miles from here. And then, get out and, listen to the game on Audio Sports Online on your mobile device and hopefully cheer the Cadets to a win. And I know a lot of you probably discouraged that Cascade lost their first 2 games, 47-13 and 57-20, but their schedule gets a heck of a lot easier the rest of the way. So now we're starting off game 2 here with the Lady Cadets serving. And a spike for the first point by Danville. They lead 1-0. They won the first game 25-10. So they will be serving now. And the first serve is misfired by Sydney Cook. She's a junior for Cascade. Just went off her fists the wrong way. So 2-0 Danville here in game 2. They won game 1, 25-10. And now this one, the serve is served out of bounds, so a point for the Lady Cadets trying to hang in there. If Cascade were to win even one game, it would be a big accomplishment. And now this one, serve goes out of bounds a little too far over the line, just by maybe a foot. 3-1 now Danville. No, Rob, my broadcast partner, was right when he said that these volleyball games go fast. So now a serve by Danville. Returned there by Cascade. And now it's a setup for a spike, and it's off the arms of a Cascade player, out of bounds. I believe that was Brianna Stevenson, one of only 3 seniors for the Lady Cadets. And it's a 4-1 lead there by the Lady Warriors. So now a serve, and now it's again. It went between 2 Cascade players, each of whom apparently expected the other to go after it. So that is definitely a problem that the Lady Cadets are going to have to address in practice as they go down 5-1 now. They lost the first game 25-10. And now another point there. This one, it looked, I believe it was Madison Mays, another freshman on this team, and now she's checking out of the game. It went off of the front of her fists onto the floor, so 6-1 the score now. 4 points in a row by Danville. And now a spike that goes off the hands of Lauren Townsend, a sophomore for Danville. Cascade gets a much-needed point, 6-2 now. They're trying to come back and get at least one win here today. Serve. And now a spike there for the point there by Claudia Ellis. 7-2 Danville now. So now Ellis will be serving. And now Danville Cascade returns it successfully, but then we got a spike, I believe that was by Callie Sharkey. 8-2 now. So now Ellis once again on the serve. Gets it over the net, and spike attempt by the Lady Cadets, but it goes a little beyond the back line. So it's 9-2 now in favor of Cascade. Lady Warriors look like they're going to, pull away to the victory and go to 12-0. Ellis on the serve. Didn't get much over the net, but it did make it. And now Hostetler hits it over. And now we've got a whistle here. I think maybe they said she hit the net. I'm not sure, but nevertheless it is a Danville point, and they go up 10-2 now. And we have a timeout. Well, for those of you who are just joining us, you are witnessing a historic event. This is the debut of Cascade Volleyball here on AudioSportsOnline.com. We've been bringing you last season Cascade Boys and Girls Basketball, this season Cascade Football, and, this is just the beginning. We're also going to have wrestling in a few weeks, and then followed by a lot more boys and girls basketball, and then baseball and football, and so it's a great time to be a Cascade sports fan. So now, finally, the Lady Cadets get a break there. There's a little, looked like one of those tips was mishandled and goes out of bounds to Cascade, so they get a much-needed point. They're down 10-3. They lost game 1 by a score of 25-10. Now served there by Cascade. So now they're going for a spike here, but it's out of bounds too. It's out of bounds on Cascade Point, so 2 in a row by the Lady Cadets, trying to crawl their way back in this one. Cascade with 2 points in a row. And this time, again, we had Kiara Black hit it once again between 2 players. Cascade has played. Hold that thought till after this play. They're trailing 11-4 now. Keep in mind, Danville, a much more experienced team. With 9, now a nice attempt there to save it by Carly Gibbs, but she was out of bounds when she hit it. So 12-4 Danville now. But keep in mind, Danville has a combined 9 juniors and seniors, Cascade merely 4. And you can just see the difference. This Cascade team is going to be, much better in a year and especially 2 years, as now Danville gets their 3rd consecutive point, so they're a little over halfway to the number of points they need in this game. Danville actually lost their first 6 matches of the season. They've played an even 3-3 the rest of the way. And then they get another. Then now Danville just gets their 4th consecutive point. Now a spike there, but the Lady Warriors keep it alive and hit it. But Danville hits it out of bounds, and Cascade gets a point. They trail 14-5. And now a good spike by the Lady Cadets to get a point of their own, so they've got 2 in a row now, 14-6, trying to hang tough. And now there's so I didn't catch what happened. But apparently, while they had possession of the ball, somebody did something illegal for Cascade because Danville just got another point. So it is 15-6 now. And this serve, however, goes out of bounds for a Cascade point. 15-7 now. However, the serve goes out of bounds to Danville. 16-7 now in favor of the Lady Warriors. They're 9 points away from winning this match. They won game 1 by a score of 25-10. And they spiked their way to another point there. That was a nice effort there by Madison Mays, the freshman, to get down on the floor and get it. It just, didn't quite make it. And the another serve not returned for a Lady Warriors point. They're 7 points away now. 18-7 your score here. And there's another one, 2 in a row now. So this match looking to slip away. And now the Lady Cadets take a timeout here. So let's look at what else we have. We actually have 2 more broadcasts, volleyball broadcasts for you a week from tonight against the Northview Lady Knights. And then let's see, and then, wait. I'm sorry, a week from tomorrow, excuse me. A week from tomorrow, that's 6 p.m., as Cascade will take on the Northview Lady Knights, who will visit from the lovely community of Brazil, Indiana. And then the next day, on the Thursday, September the 7th, Cascade will host the Monrovia Lady Bulldogs. So hope you'll join us for both of those as well. And now timeout expires. So Cascade trying to hang on and make an improbable comeback. And they got a spike there for the nice attempt by Danville to keep it alive, but they didn't make it, and it's so it's 19-8 now. Cascade, Cascade trails 19-8. They do have the serve, and it's a failed attempt at a missed time on the spike attempt, goes into the net. So the Lady Warriors, Lady Cadets come up with 2 consecutive points, cutting it to 19-9. And now this one not returned there. It really, the server, Juliana Schmidt, the freshman, really found a space there between a couple of Lady Warriors, so now it's 19-10. And now it's almost got another one, but this one goes just slightly out of bounds, so 20-10 now. It was 20-10 in the first match when the Lady Warriors ran off 5 consecutive 20-10 in the first game when the Lady Warriors ran off 5 consecutive points. And now another spike for Danville results in another point, 21-10 now. That serve didn't go much over the net, but it goes off the hands there, I believe, of Sydney Cook, a junior. 22-10 now. Danville very close to clinching this one. And over this one, the Lady Warriors Lady Cadets just got a point. That was Kirsten Johnson for Danville trying to return it, but it goes into the net. So Cascade's still alive. And now mistiming on a spike attempt, so Cascade has a chance to do something here. And this one goes out of bounds. Trinity Hostetler went off of her left hand awkwardly, and no Lady Cadet came close to getting it, to saving it. So 23-11 now. Danville needs 2 points to win the match. Nice setup there. Now a nice save on this attempt on the spike, but it goes out of bounds, and for a Danville point, so they lead 24-10. They're just 1 win away, 1 point away from winning the match and improving to 12-0. So now a spike attempt, and it goes out of bounds for a Cascade point, so the Lady Cadets are still alive. 24-12 now. In Game 2, Danville won the first game 25-10. One of the top teams in the state. A junior and senior dominated lineup. It's now served there by Cascade. And a spike is knocked back over across the net for a Danville point, and the Lady Warriors have won the match. They won both games. They swept the match, winning the two games by a score of 25-10 and 25-12. So, disappointing, result, but certainly a good effort by Cascade. Again, it's a very young Lady Cadet team with, like I said, 3 seniors, a junior, 3 sophomores, and 3 freshmen, whereas Danville, 4 seniors, 5 juniors, 2 sophomores, and a freshman. Oh, excuse me, silly me. I apologize. It's I'm sorry. It's 3 out. It's 3 out of 5. It was 2 out of 3 for the JV, but 3 out of 5 for the varsity. So we still have at least one game to play here. So I apologize for my mistake and for writing off the Lady Cadets in this match too soon. So, and I'm enjoying this. So I'm glad we have more volleyball to play. And this is like I said, this is my first volleyball broadcast. I've done over 100 baseball, football, and basketball, and softball broadcasts. So I'm glad to be adding volleyball to my repertoire. So and I'm glad that I don't have to sign off so early. And hey, we'll probably be out of here early enough for me to make it home while we still have some sunlight left. So the Lady Warriors coming out all fired up. The teams have switched sides again. And it's good to see, it's good to see all the spirit and enthusiasm from both sides. And, it's good to see we have, such a big crowd. Like I said, I counted the crowd. We have had right around exactly 100. And I'm just glad to be back here, at Cascade. I really... I got so spoiled from last November to February coming here about twice a week on average, sometimes 3 times, doing all the boys and girls basketball games. And finally, last Friday was the first time I'd been here in a little over 6 months. I really missed that drive up and down US 40 coming from the west side of Indianapolis where I reside. And so, great to be back here. And hopefully I'll be doing this for many years to come. I'm 46 now, and I keep saying that I always said I wanted to outlast Vin Scully. Now that he's retired at 88, my goal is now to make it to 89. So hopefully I'll be coming out here a few hundred more times over the years, and hopefully do it long enough to get an honorary Cascade diploma. I'm actually a native of Madison, Indiana, and graduated from Madison Consolidated High School, but I do feel at home here in this beautiful community of Clayton, which is a town that really epitomizes Hoosier hospitality. And I've enjoyed, absorbing this community and meeting, some of the fans who attend the games. And, I've just had a great relationship with, the fine staff here at Cascade. So now starting starting the game 3 now. Danville leads 2-0. However, Cascade gets the first point there. Nice hit there off the fists of Elizabeth Gutig, a sophomore. And found a space on the floor to land without the Lady Warriors getting it. 1-0 Cascade. However, Danville strikes back and ties it in a hurry. It was a nice spike that went. It hit the hands of a Cascade player and went backwards out of bounds. 1-1 now. That'd be a moral victory if Cascade even won one game here in this match. And now a nice spike there for a point there by the Lady Cadets. (2-1) Cascade. Now Danville ties it. (2-2) now. Cascade trying to hang in there. And now Danville takes their first lead of the match on a nice on a very well placed spike that went and bounced just inside the line, the back line. 3-2 now. Now a serve there. Danville hits it over on the third try. Now a spike attempt, but the Lady Warriors third hit doesn't get over the net. Brianna Stevenson had to get down low and just didn't get enough on it to get it over the net. 4-2 now. Danville, is generally, had about through each of the first two games had about twice as many points as Cascade, and now they get their fourth point in a row, making it 5-2. However, that serve there fails to make it over the net by Mallory Delamarter, a junior. So big break for Cascade as they're trying to hang in there. They trail 5-3 here in game 3. They lost the first two, so they have to win this one to stay alive in the match. But a spike there, however, by Danville, it gives them another point. They go up 6-3 now. Now this one, however, that was an interesting play. The serve hit the net, then fell slightly over onto the floor for a Danville point, so they go up 7-3 now. They've scored 6 of the last 7 points in the match, make it 7 of the last 8 now. 8-3, and Cascade takes a timeout, trying to keep this one from slipping away, trying to stay alive. Eight to 3 your score here. 33 seconds left in this timeout. Atmosphere in the huddle seems calm. The head coach Miranda Maynard seems very very composed and methodical. She knows this is a very young team going up against a mammoth, and it's games like these that are going to help the Lady Cadets grow and mature. It's you can go against a lot of cupcakes that you can beat easily, but that doesn't make you better. It's playing the best that makes you better. And taking a few hits along the way is sometimes what a young team needs to help reach their potential. And now Cascade hits it out of bounds on the return. They go down 9-3. here in Game 3. Danville won the first two, 25-10 and 25-12. Now we got a substitution for the Lady Cadets. We have Taylor Mays sits down, and Madison Trissler comes in. Oh, and now another Cascade point, another Danville point, excuse me. The ball went off Trissler's hand. She looked like she wasn't sure how she should handle it, how she should handle the serve. And this one, it goes off the ceiling and falls back onto the floor for another Danville point. 11-3 now. They've scored. They're on a 10-1 run here. And now on Danville gets it over the net. But, then another spike by Black. And the Lady Warriors go up 12-3 here in Game 3. Danville, an outstanding team at 11-0. Team that, has a good shot to make a deep run in the tournament this year. Cascade trying to get something going. Another point, though, by the Lady Warriors, up 13-3 now after they were down 2-1. And now they hit it. It looked to me, I think Stevenson was trying to set up a spike, but it was just too far back, and the attempt went into the net. So 14-3 now. However, that serve there by Libby Carlton, a senior for Danville, goes into the net, and it's a point for the Lady Cadets. A very much needed point here. They're trying to stay alive here. However, this time the serve by Carly Gibbs goes into the net as well. So 15-4 your score now in favor of Danville. And 16-4 now. Tell you, with those tall players up front, especially Black and Ellis, though Ellis isn't in the game now, they've got a couple of really good spikers there. So 16-4. That was a good answer, though, there. I'll tell you that Brianna Stevenson did a great job on hitting a spike back over, but Danville ends up getting the point later on the play anyway. They go up 17-4 now, and they're dominating. I don't know if it's fatigue on the part of Cascade but Danville really is winning this one more easily than they won the first two games, which ended up 25-10 and 25-12. And now they go up 18-4. Only 7 points needed to win the match now. And Lady Cadets finally get another point there. The Danville player had to get low on the ground and just wasn't able to get a good hit on it. 18-5 now here in Game 3. And this one, spike attempt goes out of bounds for a Cascade point. So they've scored 2 in a row now. It's 18-6. And now heads up move by Kiera Black, who now sits down in favor of Ellis. But the ball, as soon as it crossed the net, she just, slightly tapped it, so it went to the ground for the easy point. 19-6 now. And this one goes on beyond the back line, out of bounds for another Danville point. 5 points away from winning the match now. They lead 20-6. Now Danville Cascade on their third hit of the possession. Just, didn't come close to getting it over the net. Now they take a timeout here. 21-6 now. Well, it has been a good effort by the Lady Cadets, but their lack of experience really has shown in this match. But they are going to have better days ahead, and that's what I've been, saying about the football team a lot. It's interesting that, there are, that's a big parallel between both the football and the volleyball team is just their youth. And and it's important when you're supporting a team this young and to understand that they're likely to, make a lot of mistakes and likely just be physically overmatched. And that's what's happening tonight. And when you lose a game because the other team was better, there's no shame in that. It's losing because of lack of effort. That's the problem. And there has not been a lack of effort, for volleyball or football this year. This is just two very young teams, and then another point there by the Lady Warriors. 22-6 your score now here in Game 3. They won the first 2 games, so if they win 3 more points, then they will take the match. So now a nice spike there. But another point there by Danville. They're 2 away from winning the match now. I'll tell you, one thing I like about volleyball is that it's a simple 1 point at a time scoring system as opposed. And now mishandle on the serve, and Danville's 1 point away from winning it. But to me, it's great that they just, you get 1 point at a time. It's very simple, unlike tennis where, like whoever invented the scoring system of tennis, And this time the serve goes out of bounds. Hit it, just put a little too much on it. It goes out of bounds, so Cascade gets a point, so they stay alive 24-7. And now Juliana Schmidt, one of the 3 freshmen on this Cascade varsity volleyball team, is serving now. But a successful spike by Danville, and Lady Warriors take the match. Their 3 games, they won 25-10, 25-12, and 25-7. So the biggest margin coming in the last match. So the 2 teams form a handshake line. And disappointing result, but not surprising. This is a match where even had Cascade made no mistakes, they probably would not have won. They did make several mistakes that are characteristic of a very young team, but those are the kind of things that are going to be ironed out. I mean, the bulk of these girls are going to be back for 2 or 3 more years, and like I said, and they after their first 6 games of the after they started off 0-6, they did split their next 6 to bring their record up to 3-9, and they did lose tonight, but they were going up against a senior and junior and senior dominated team that was 11-0, and so really, obviously it's a game where they're going to look at the game tape, see some mistakes and try to iron them out. But for the most part, things like this are going to be taken care of just through growth and maturity and experience. And so the first volleyball broadcast here on Audio Sports Online didn't quite go the way we wanted, but, we're going to have better days. And just as the football team is. And in a game like this, you have to look at it as being, you have to look at the glass as being half full rather than half empty. If you have the team gives a lackadaisical effort and they don't try and they're out of shape, that's one thing. But when you have a young team that's simply overmatched, you just got to learn from it and see what the other teams are doing that makes them so good. And then some of it, is going to be taken care of just with, getting a year or two older. I always, like I said in the first football broadcast of the season, and keep in mind the Cascade football team, out of 47 players, only 8 seniors. And I think I've only called 3 of their names during the season so far, because the bulk of their best players are sophomores and juniors. When Lenny Wilkins took over as the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers back in 1986, he said about 1 million times, without much exaggeration, that the team's youth was both their greatest asset and their greatest liability, and that goes for both the football and volleyball teams here at Cascade right now. The fact that they're this young means that, they're likely going to be very good in a couple of years, but it also means that they're likely to take a lot of hits in the present and the immediate future. And, Cleveland, for about a year and a half after Wilkins took over, that happened to them, and then they became a regular playoff team for several years. I had really the best stretch in team history until the LeBron James era, and very well might have contended for 2 or 3 2 or 3 NBA championships had they not had a multitude of injuries there in the late 80s and early 90s. So, anyway, once again, your final score here tonight: Cascade swept by the Danville Warriors, who improved to 12-0 on the season, while Cascade drops to 3-10. The score in the 3 games: 25-10, 25-12, and 25-7. So thank you for joining us, and I cordially invite you to do so again a week from tomorrow as Cascade hosts the Northview Knights, and then a week from Thursday as they host the Monrovia Bulldogs. So that's on September 6th and September 7th. And in addition, hope you also will tune in this Friday night for Cascade football action as the Cadets visit the Brown County Eagles down in Nashville, Indiana. And then, of course, also don't forget every Monday from the season we're going to have the Steve Spink Show, which is an up close and personal interview with the Cascade head football coach. So a lot of Cascade sports to follow. All the of course the Steve Spink Show is archived on Monday, and then all the athletic events air live, and then they will be archived within a few hours, so you can listen to them anytime at your convenience. And you can also come to the games and listen to the broadcast on your mobile device just by clicking on going to audiosportsonline.com and clicking on Cascade Cadets under the fall sports section. Well, for better or for worse, this was my first volleyball broadcast. I had a lot of rough edges, but, like these young lady cadets, I will grow and mature from this. And it's just a great honor to be here. I'm glad to be back here at Cascade again, to be in this gym again after a little over 6 months. I've missed it tremendously, and just really excited about bringing you all these Cascade athletic events. This is a great school and a great community, and proud to be one of the voices of their athletic programs right now. So I look forward to being with you all Friday night down at Nashville. Brown County High School, of course, located in Brown County, Indiana, one of the most scenic counties in the state. A lot of beautiful shops there, that sell, great variety of items, antiques, arts and crafts, gourmet foods, desserts, clothes, you name it. It's so beautiful this time of year, and you can go to browncounty.com and read all about the many attractions there, as well as Brown County State Park. So, if you all can, get down there on Friday and just hang out in the town for half a day or even all day, and then go to the game at night and see Cascade play. Brown County, the Eagles football team does enter that game with a record of 2-0. But both wins came against 1A opponents, including Edinburgh, who's perennially one of the worst teams in the state. So it's going to be a very winnable game for Cascade. And Cascade has beaten Brown County each of the last 2 years as well. So hopefully you'll get out there, or at least to tune in and support these kids as they move up the ladder and try to become a championship contending team. Well, this concludes our broadcast. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I cordially invite you to do so again on Friday night for Cascade versus Brown County football, a pregame show at 6:45, and then a week from tomorrow night for more Cascade volleyball action as they host the Northview Lady Knights. Until then, for AudioSportsOnline.com, this is Lex Zorn. Good night.